Aussie dollar. So I drew this out a few days ago, and it's done really well. So I mean, this is very bearish. It's way below this moving average, consistently just moving down. Our monthly high for this month so far is roughly this 65 level. So it did come up a little bit above it, but we'll call it 65. And then our target for this month is 61.5, all the way down here. And I think it's well on its way of doing that. You can see it really respected this 64 level zone, like just absolutely perfect. And this is why I love whole numbers. And you should always keep them in mind, because price gravitates towards whole numbers and really respects them. And so utilize them. But yeah, this 64 level, you can see it just held it perfect, and then finally broke with this huge bearish candle, and now it's retesting. So you have 1, 2, 3 huge wicks through the 64 level, and it's retesting and rejecting. And so dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, price is still way below this moving average, so that's good. And it's created a lower low relative to these ones here with this new segment of price here. And then yeah, it's kind of just drifting upwards slowly. And then I mean, this was Friday and then Thursday, so end of the week. I guess this was most of the week. Wow. So yeah, as of Monday was this candle, but then the rest of the week barely moved. So really just retesting the 64 level and just seeing if it wants to break lower, and I think it will, because it doesn't really seem to want to go higher. So yeah, with price already being below the 4-hour moving average, I would say it's probably pretty good to enter soon. I would just wait for some more confirmation. So you can actually see with this, price came up above. This is just the 1-hour time frame, which price is still below the moving average, so this is heavily bearish. But it came up, broke above this 1 hour, but broke above the 64 level, this the yellow line here, and then came right back down, and then retested, and then broke lower. So you can see you got lower lows and lower highs just based on this, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. So that price action is already setting in. I don't know how significant that is yet, but so far, I mean, it's there. And this was the previous liquidity area, and then it came down, came back up, and created a new lower one right here. So I do think that this actually could be good to short now. I would still wait for more confirmation, but I do think it could be good. You can see there was this zone originally, and then with this candle pushed it down a little bit more, and then now it's pushing back up. And so we'll see once the market opens tonight, kind of what it does. If it breaks this zone, it's most likely good to go and head lower. The only thing I would just wait for, because we can take our time and we can always wait for perfect entries. So I would bring it back to the 4-hour time frame here, and then just have my overall lower low structure here. So you can see this lines up perfect to what I had with this little trade set up here. So just let it break this zone, this like 63, 65 level in between here. Let it break this fully, and then just retest it. So no rush, let price come down, do its thing, look for some sort of retest, and then enter your trade. So far our liquidity zone of protection is this big guy here. Odds are it'll create a new one maybe in between this zone and this zone. It's pretty common, but as of right now we can just leave it like this, and I would actually just do this. And so this would be my stop, and then my target would be the full monthly range at 61.5. So right now you're looking at just a 4, roughly a 4.3 risk to reward. So that's not amazing, it's not horrible, but it's pretty good. Based on how these daily candles have closed, I would say this is super weak, and it just, as soon as it cracks this zone, it's just going to go. There's nothing, and that's another thing. So there's not much. I mean, our most recent history here is about a year ago, you can see. But since within the last year, there hasn't been anything in between this level stopping us. Like, there's no price action over here. So there is some here. So you got a couple zones here at 62.87, and then towards the end at close to 61.5, 62 level. There'll probably be some resistance, but other than that, not too much, and nothing recent. So we don't even know price, history. We don't have it. The last thing we have is a year ago when price was respecting these levels. So we don't know how it's going to function now, but recently there's nothing here. So all of this year, like if this is 2023, you can see there's no action in this price area. So I think we'll be pretty good to go to head lower down to 61.5 level and just target that full monthly range. Might as well make as much money as we possibly can. That's kind of my take on things. It's what I shoot for. But so 63, 65 needs to be broken, this little level here, and then look for an entry. And then, upon that happening, if it creates a lower liquidity zone here, let's say it creates a new one as it pushes up and then breaks lower. If it creates a new liquidity zone, let's say right here, I would shrink this up a little bit just to really get really good risk to reward. So like you can see now you're at like a 6, and so I would like more than a 5 for me to really enter this, and I think I can get it. Just you gotta let price do its thing and let structure set up and create its liquidity areas. So right now the only one we have to go off of is this big guy here. So that's kind of why if you put your stop above this area or right at the top of this area, you're looking at a 50 pip risk to reward. So I'd like to get that down, and you can do that as price sets up, and once it breaks this zone, then it gives us more of an idea of where we can put our stop for liquidity protection, and give us a little bit of time for this moving average to catch up as well. It's price is quite a bit below this, so I'd like it to catch up a little bit so that we can kind of use it as a gauge of support, I guess, resistance to the upside, which would support our trade to the downside. But yeah, that's Aussie dollar. That's my take on it. That's what I'm shooting for. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.